I will be doing a quick tank review for the Soviet Tier 3 Premium Light Tank, the t-127. This vehicle, it's not a bad tank nor a good one at the same time. As a premium vehicle, you can train any of the Soviet light tank crew members in this while making extra credits at the same time. The t-127 is quite a good Tier 3 light tank that had preferred matchmaking from Tier 3 up to Tier 4 maximum. This means if you play accordingly to the vehicle's strengths and weaknesses at the same time, you can do quite well in the vehicle. The vehicle itself, I find, if you are in a platoon of 2 or 3 of these vehicles, and coordinate your actions together, you can do quite well in this vehicle. This vehicle, as it is a premium vehicle, you can get it in the shop or buy it for about, I think it is about 850 gold. Let's cover the vehicle stats now. The vehicle stats. You have a decent amount of hit points, 250 hit points, so you can take a couple of hits before you are killed. This vehicle weighs potentially up to 14 tons. My setup, it is 12.7 tons, which means with the top engine of 250 horsepower engine and a 15% chance of engine fire, I have a very good horsepower to ton ratio. It is 19.70 horsepower to 1 ton. That means I can easily reach the top speed of 38 kilometers whenever I am going downhill or if I am on flat terrain. For the most part, you can easily reach somewhere between 25 to 35 kilometers easily enough in this tank whenever you're on flat terrain. The vehicle hull traverse is quite good, 34 degrees. It's not the best nor the worst. It could be worse. The vehicle armor is quite good when it comes to the front side. If you angle the armor well enough, especially the front part of the side armor, the rear and the side rear armor can be penned easily enough. The armor, it's actually quite good because you have angling, which increases the armor thickness when it comes to the turret and the hull. The hull armor is 40 in the front, same for the turret side, 30 for both of them. The hull 30, turret rear 25. The armor, if you angle it properly, you can ricochet a good amount of rounds with that 40 millimeters of angled armor. The crew, we remember that the modules and the equipment can be damaged still from the front, side, and rear still. If a Tier 3 or a Tier 4 howitzer HE round hit the side and rear or front, if it can overpen the armor, you can be one-shotted easily enough. The gun itself, it is not that good nor terrible. It's just decent. You have a very good rate of fire, about 27 rounds per a minute. The pen and the damage output is decent. For the most part, you can penetrate most vehicles up to Tier 4 easily enough. The damage output per shell, it is not that good, which means you have to fire a lot of rounds if you want to accumulate a lot of damage within the match. The accuracy is is terrible, 0.43. That means sniping with this, you are going to have a hard time hitting your target most of the time, unless if you fully aim, and still you may miss. The aiming time is good, 2.1 seconds. The gun depression, it is 8 degrees downwards and 25 up. That means this vehicle is potentially a good hill fighter if you are going to be using it as a hill fighter. The view range is decent enough for a TS3, 320 meters, and the radio is terrible, 300 meters, which means most of the time you are going to be losing contact with the team due to the shorter radio range of 300 meters. As a premium vehicle, there is nothing to research here. I will cover the pros and cons now. The pros and cons for a Tier 3 vehicle, you will have preferred matchmaking from Tier 3 to Tier 4. Now, how do you play the vehicle? It is a quick, mobile, light tank that you can do quite well in whenever you're the front line light tank supporting vehicle or flanking vehicle. What is good about the vehicle? The armor is quite good. So if you angle the armor just right, you can ricochet rounds with the armor. The gun have a very high rate of fire, so in theory you can do a lot of damage with this gun. The vehicle is quite quick, so you can easily reach the top speed whenever you are on flat terrain or going downhill. As a premium vehicle, you can train any of the Soviet light tank crew members in this vehicle while making extra credits as well. Also, you have preferred matchmaking on your side between Tier 3 to Tier 4 maximum. Now, what is bad about the vehicle? As a light tank, due to the armor thickness, the crew and the modules can be damaged easily enough. Especially the side and rear, as the armor it is not as thick. The turret here have a major weak part. The turret backdoor here. If a HE round goes through here, all of the crew members will be knocked out, and the vehicle may potentially be one-shotted, so be careful about that. Also, due to the high rate of fire, about 27 rounds per a minute, and having about 108 rounds of ammo, in theory you can run out of ammo due to the high rate of fire, so be careful about that. I will be covering the ammo layout, the consumables, and the equipment that you will be using in this vehicle. Consumables, you can go with the first aid kit, a repair kit, and a fire extinguisher. But if you do not want to have the fire extinguisher, you can go with the combat rations, or even the large repair kit for the permanent repair bonus if you do not use it. This vehicle carries a lot of ammo, 104 rounds. So, you will not run out of ammo for the most part. The majority of the ammo that I will be using in this vehicle is mostly AP, APCR, and has some HE, just in case if you have to reset cap or to shoot at a semi-armored target. The equipment I have mounted to it is vents to improve the crew by 5%. The other equipment that you can mount if you want to is the enhanced gun length drive, coated optics, binocular telescopes if you want to, and that is it, which you can really mount onto the vehicle to improve it. I have a replay to show you how well you can do in a t-127 if you play quite aggressively. Let's go to that replay now. This replay, I'm in a tier 4 match maximum to show you how well you can do in the vehicle whenever you are in this type of matchmaking and play quite aggressively in the vehicle, knowing what you are doing. Let me speed this up a bit. First things first, I am heading to the 3-to-1 area. At the beginning of the match, I will show you how quickly you can reach the 38-kilometer mark. As long as you're on flat terrain that is not rough for the most part, you can easily reach and maintain the 38-kilometer mark. I have some backup behind me, being the first tank in the GE area. I'm going to be the scout for my team, or as much as possible in this area. I wait for some backup in the G line area. That Valentine, seeing the passes clear, I take the advantage and try to secure this front for my team. Seeing I cannot pen that part of the vehicle with AP, I began to hit the gun mantlet. That T-40 there have to go. I missed the target, but with the help of the team on this front, we had them closed in. I switched to a PCR to make sure my rounds are going to be penning, knowing the Matilda and the M3D, the Hetzer, are alive still, just in case if I encounter them. That VK2001D, I use the APCR to make sure I am penning it. Here I'm showing you the rate of fire of the gun. This PD-1C, I fire at it while it's on the move. I am leading my shots. It's always a good idea to press the accelerate button so you can be able to reach the top speed, or reach as fast as possible as you can with the button on, whenever you are using any vehicles that are quite fast and mobile as the vehicle is. Now we only have 3 tier 4s left: the Lee, the Matilda, and the Hetzer. This is where my usefulness to the team comes to an end. And we won by capping. This replay I did quite well in. I did about 700 damage while getting 2 kills in the process during the match. Let's go to the garage now and do a brief recap. Let's do a brief recap on the T-127. This vehicle, overall, it's quite the average light tank. That is quite good, whether it is by itself or in a platoon. This vehicle is quick, mobile, have a decent enough gun, which for the most part, you can penetrate most vehicles that you will come across. Remember to use the APCR when you have to against heavily armored vehicles such as the Matilda and etc. if they inkling their armor quite well. This vehicle, as a premium vehicle, you can train your Soviet light tank crew members in it while making extra credits at the same time. The T-127, if you play to the vehicle's strengths and weaknesses, you can do quite well in the vehicle. Remember, for the time being, you can buy this vehicle within the game shop or in-game if you have the gold for it. Overall, the T-127 is quite the good vehicle to use. I hope that you learn a thing or two about the T-127 and how to use it properly. Good luck on the battlefield, everyone.